What is he doing?
He's going for a right straight.
Come on, can we not do this right now?
I see. He's going into his final blow. But he's leaving himself wide open for a brief moment.
Will you guys shut up?
Anime Street Survival. Today we're going to be showing you an intermediate technique on how to stop time while disabling a grenade launcher attack in the street. Unfortunately, all too common scenarios. So, before he gets the chance to let off a shot, I have stopped time. And I've neutralized the attacker. So, as you can see, happens very fast, but thankfully we have recorded on a high-speed camera to capture all of the technique. As you can see, I'm removing the grenade from the grenade launcher, attacking in all vital points, including the groin, and finishing out the technique. Now, for those of you emailing me from the ER saying that my techniques don't work, well, if you spent more time training than in the ER, you can find the tutorials on my website, then you probably wouldn't have this problem to begin with. Anyways, follow us for more, share with your friends to keep them safe. Thank you all for watching Anime Street Survival. Stay safe out there.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Anime Stash. If you're here, you've done the correct thing. You waited till your parents were gone from the house. You snuck into your parents' room and you stole the videotape from under your dad's bed. And we're going to see what happens when you press play this week on Dad's Anime Stash. And we're going to have a pretty sweet topic today. We're going to be going top 3 anime villains of all time. Not sure who thought of this idea, but it's fucking brilliant because it was me. But we got some pretty sweet guests here if you didn't tell. Shut up, it was me. If you didn't tell by that video that we had playing, we got the guys from Trapped in Anime. We got Joe and David. Hope you guys are doing good. We got Josh.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
As always, secretly the bad guy. And then we got, that's about it. So I think we're, I think we're about good.
I said I love your hair, and this is how you treat me.
You're the antagonist. You get no love, man.
Yeah.
You should have walked the path of righteousness.
Yeah.
I don't know. The problem is you need a good antagonist, to have a good protagonist.
Exactly.
And our antagonist is garbage.
Right on top of the video. So there you go.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of when you think of anime villains? Do you look for something in particular, or is it kind of just based on the anime?
For me, I guess it really depends. Because it's kind of the same thing across the board between both anime, video games, comics, movies, whatever. And there's so many different ways to approach it. I guess at the end of the day, it's just got to pass the test of whether or not it resonates with you. Because you can have characters that are just complete, utter pieces of garbage, no redeeming qualities, but they're there to get their comeuppance. You can have ones that are relatable. You can have ones that are just evil for the sake of evil and being all powerful and conquering. So there's a good variety, and even variety amongst my favorites. I'm sure Dave and the rest of you guys agree. So it just matters if the character well written. That's how I look at it. Mm-hmm. Dave, you want to weigh on it?
I mean, I agree with that. I think my thing when it comes to villains is I'm looking for something more than just I want to destroy the world. I feel like we've got enough of those, just evil for no reason. So I'm looking for something a little bit more than that. So when I explain my list later, I'll go more into it, but that's what I'm looking for. Just more than just the base needs to be more than just destroying the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
like Joe said, a villain who wants to destroy the world is a good one-note villain. It's not bad to have a one-note villain every once in a while, but you need some depth. Like you said, a good villain, some of your best villains are your relatable ones. If they're making a point and you question whether or not what they're doing is actually wrong, it's one of your best villains.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's the subtle differences between maniacal overlord and kind of agree with some of the things that you're doing. It's that weird fine line.
It's I don't know if I'd do that the same way, but I
might actually do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing in the real world too, where if there's any kind of opposition to your ideals, there's got to be a nugget of truth to it, unless they're just completely lying and way off base. But they can spin things in a way where it's okay, I see your point there, but there's this key thing that you're missing. You missed this point, so that's why I can't agree with you. Right. So I do agree that is very
world here.
Yeah. Barry, I guess we'll give you an opinion.
Bad
all right,
guys
well, that
are
was
bad,
good.
good
So-
guys are good, and and that's how it should be drawn.
That's the foundation.
Sorry, I zoned
It was
out for a little bit.
Yeah, it was perfect. I loved it. So we'll get the worst opinions from Barry here. So Barry, since as we just found out seconds ago, so I'm gonna give me and David some more time here to scramble. What's
we're
your
going
number 3
backwards?
there? Yeah, we're gonna go backwards. So me and David get time to scramble.
Thank you.
What's your number 3?
But number 3, I started off just out of left field. I went with Edamon from season 1 of Digimon.
Oh man, I love Edamon.
Okay.
Oh my god. I love Edamon.
Okay.
It's something I didn't think anyone else was going to pick, and I'm a sucker for the classic rock style bad guy.
Yeah.
Awful Sane is what I felt like we all loved him for.
I appreciate Edamon so much as a character because writing Digimon, they did not have to make him an Elvis impersonator. Like, who thought of
It's
that?
a good one though.
I
I forgot about that until
now.
now.
Yeah. they went out of their way to make sure that he was an Elvis impersonator.
You're right. I hate to agree with Barry, but he's right. He has
I
a
got
good
once.
point
One time on this show,
There you
Josh
go.
to agree with you. We're putting this in the books.
Yeah.
Take
You
the dubs
probably
where you can
say-
get them, man.
You could probably say anything about Digimon being good, and I'd agree with you.
That's what he did. He was like, all right, I'm going to get one in there that they give me some credibility for. I'm going to throw in some of their favorites.
Now,
the other
Josh,
two
for
you're probably
some
going to
credibility.
hate, but
for the point
Well,
of contention amongst a lot of my friends, they can't stand the English intro for Digimon. They're like super purist. They need only the Japanese one. Do you guys as fans concur or do you disagree?
Could not disagree more.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no.
Butterfly
you.
is fine, but
It's the easiest lyrics to
Yeah.
remember. Just say Digimon over and over
Right.
again.
It was
And then-
catchy.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's very
why.
simple.
Yeah, I don't know why they're hating on it. It's catchy, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're very purist about it, but I'm not tripping that hard.
It's like
Man.
any Nicki Minaj song. Just repeat the same lyric in repeat fashion. You've got about 70% of it.
Or the Migos, there's your chorus
true.
right there. They could make
we're
a song.
all Digimon fans.
Joe, don't start a rap beef, Joe.
I know you wouldn't take my side. If it was Trapped in Anime versus the Migos, I know you're going to go Migos. So
Yeah, I might have to. Okay.
That's harsh, man. You should have his back.
I know, right, man?
Do we
After
have- do we-
everything we've been through,
Name one time we've had Barry's back, Josh.
yeah, I'm not going to lie. If Migos showed up and offered me a contract, I'm gone.
You're out of here
Yeah,
too?
I-
That's what I'm
I'm-
saying. We out of here.
Well, I had his back when he said Edamon was a good villain.
I
See?
think it's when we lost his
Absolutely.
back when he said that your name was only an A.
Oh my god!
I think
why
that's
would
where
he
I think
say
it's
that?
I think that's where he lost us.
My defense, watching on YouTube is completely different than watching somewhere else. It skips
You-
every like 10 seconds. It wasn't worth it.
Just get good, and then we wouldn't have this problem.
That's fair.
There's like a
Yeah.
million ways to watch it.
Yeah, it's true. I guess I'll just go in order of what we got here. Josh, what do we got?
So my number 3 villain actually isn't really considered a villain, but it's Genma Saotome from Ranma 1/2. I don't know if anyone's watched Ranma. Have you? These two
I haven't
jokers
seen
haven't.
that.
I haven't seen
I
it
have
personally.
no.
This is a tough one. So he's Ranma's dad, and he causes every problem in the show from start to finish. This is going to be hard to talk about with no one knowing. So the plot
Hey,
is
sell us on it. Sell us on the show. We'll
Yeah,
check
you
it
got
out
this.
the plot is Genma takes his young son Ranma to Jusenkyo, which are these magic pools in China to train. But whenever you fall in, you're cursed. So whenever Ranma gets doused with cold water, he turns into a girl. And when Genma gets doused with cold water, he turns into a panda. And then throughout the show, Genma does nothing but cause trouble for everyone. And you find out he's actually promised Ranma to marry several different women in exchange for goods and services.
Oh boy.
It's a comedy, so don't worry, guys. It's all cool.
Okay, that's good.
Got it.
Plus, you get to see a boob, so it's worth it.
That's never a bad thing.
All right, then we're good.
You just
All
led
right.
with that part.
Yeah, then we would have been sold. All right, got it. Got it. Worst guy in history. Piece of human garbage. We got
Adding
it.
that to the watch list now. Hold up.
Yeah, like all right. Just writes boob down, and then like comes back later and goes, "Why did I just write boob? That doesn't make any sense. It's not going to get me anywhere."
I just drew a boob. But to be honest, if you haven't watched Ranma, you need to. It's an anime staple, man.
Okay, I can add it to the list. I'm going to give David as much time as possible here. So Joe, we're going to go to you. I'm mixing up the order here.
All right. I'll say my number 3. Let's go ahead and go with Makoto Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin.
Ooh, okay. That was a honorable mention for me.
Okay, there you go. Because like I he's that type of might makes right, might above all type of character, but super skilled. He's prepared for everything. Of course, went through defeat once, and he's like, I'm not dealing with that shit again. You get throughout that entire fight with the entire Kenshin gang, beating everybody down one by one. You thought you had me here, but I prepared for that, etc., etc. And even after Kenshin made the big comeback with his super secret technique beyond the point of death, it still wasn't enough, and he was still fighting, and the only way that took him out was like his own body's weakness because he couldn't produce sweat because he'd been burned alive. And so it's like they won, but you didn't really beat him. He let you guys have that one. So Team Shishio.
Good choice.
It's a good one. Why are you highlighting mine?
I just saw the full cosplay.
Of all things, you highlight mine. Oh god, I know. David, what about you, man? I tried. I gave you as much.
I'm
time
good.
as
I'm good.
as
I got an order now. Number 3.
Right.
Number 3. I picked Mr. Tucker or Show Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
And even though he's not like the main villain,
he's a villain.
He is. Not the main villain, but he is a villain. But I picked him. For me, I feel like he almost has somehow transcended and became just like a meme and just known as one of the worst people in anime. And he wasn't in the show that long, but I feel like people still remember. So it was just a really, really impactful villain. So that's why I picked him. And I'm still traumatized from that scene. I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen, but you should have seen it by now. It's like 12 years old at this point, or if not more. But that's
calling
mine.
me out, bro.
First off, it happened twice. So if people haven't seen it by now, it's
true. It did happen.
Yeah, it's been over, doesn't it? You can spoil whatever you want on this. It's
you guys know he's experimenting on his daughter, and essentially,
hang on. If Joe didn't tell you can spoil whatever you want from his last villain, you probably weren't paying attention to him because he explained the end of the series.
If you're out now, you're out of the loop. Just catch up. Myself included.
Yeah. So as I was very quickly trying to throw this in an order that made remote sense, I decided to stay fuck it because they're all bad guys anyway, I suppose.
There you go. Fuck those dudes.
So for my number 3, I'm going Alube from G Gundam, who's the head of the Japanese military. And I went with him because all throughout the season, they're building up all these other people as the bad guys. And then it turns out he's the guy behind everything. He's the guy who shot Domon's mother and killed her, put his father into cryo sleep, made his brother go into the escape in the Dark Gundam, knew it all full along, and then was like, hey, Domon, just go down to Earth and fight in this tournament. But actually, it was all my fault to begin with. So I liked it because it was a good swerve in the anime of they're building him up as a guy that's trying to help everybody out. It was just a simple reason of just, I went to destroy the Dark Gundam, and I got my ass kicked, so I'm just going to use its power. And so I like just the subtlety of just, no, I'm just a piece of shit. So that's why I had to go with Alube.
That's why we let Justin be on the show.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Poor Justin, man.
I know, right? Y'all are roasting Justin, man.
Look, when he comes back to inevitably try and take over the world, don't say we didn't warn you. That's all
we could point right back to this episode too, man.
There you go. This is where
this is a origin story.
For
real.
I'll just give you blue steel, Justin. As soon as after you kill Josh and you're gonna kill me, I'll just give you the blue steel.
See, now we know what happened to Mitch, man.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get through me.
Well, we know. Well, yeah, but you killed Mitch. That's
Look, guys, stop talking about who killed Mitch. Mitch is
I know,
gone.
right?
everyone.
All
did.
we need to know.
It's
You
true.
don't know who's listening.
Yeah. All right. So that's a pretty good number 3. We got some good villains in there. I think that's a pretty solid list of shitbags.
We got more.
Yeah, we got more.
I feel like we could do better.
I think we can do better. So let's just completely mix it up again because that's what I like doing. So Joe, we're going right to you, man.
I had a feeling it was coming, but you know what? It's cool. I got you.
All right,
I'm gonna put on my number 2. I'm gonna go with a classic, Frieza.
Ooh.
Let me join you right there, Joe. Frieza is also my number 2.
Oh no, 100%.
There it is.
There's others you can pick from Dragon Ball 2 of like Vegeta, of course, is a great turnaround. Started as a villain, now he's dope. Cell was excellent, but Frieza as just a villain where it's like built up so well to just the perfect comeuppance of a dude who is a total piece of shit, genocidal, racist, hates everybody, calling the Saiyans monkeys left and right. But to see him get his ass whooped by Goku, and to the point where Goku's like, you know what, I'm gonna quit. Not because you have an upper hand. It's because now you're just too weak. You're too much of a bitch. I'm out of here. Come back when you get good. And he's like, no, I'm ready now. It's like, look at my rank. 12th Dan, first Dan, get out here. Boom, dead.
Okay.
It is so good, and it was such a better way to do it than just having Goku beat him.
Oh yeah.
Have Frieza actually just realize that he's been bested, and see just like him having that emotional breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Like Dragon Ball is not known for its good writing. Let's just be honest.
At least not past like the Cell saga. I mean, it's after Frieza. It's
it goes down. It goes downhill. Yeah, Cell Saga's pretty good. Buu Saga makes no sense whatsoever, and then
GT's a high note. We can stop pretending like we hate GT, guys.
Oh no, I love GT.
I love GT too.
But for me, it's like I have to look at things in the macro rather than the micro when it comes to Dragon Ball, where it's like I respect what GT did because it brought a lot of things full circle from like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But like other Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z stuff, if you break it down piece by piece, you're going to find a lot of weird things. Like you blew up the moon twice.
You can't zoom in, man. Like GT, if you go explain it to someone, they're going to be like, man, that sounds awesome. But then if you get into the minutia of it, if they actually watch it, they might be like, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball is definitely something that has just those little moments spread out over, like there's so many of them that you got to respect it.
It's not made to be put under a microscope, that's for sure.
Just don't think about it too hard.
I really wanted to put Frieza in my top 3, but then I was like, I feel like somebody else is, and so I was like, I want to think so outside the box with my top 3, so we can like try to get some different people. But Frieza's so iconic, though. I mean, you can't, especially early Frieza too. Just the way they built him up in the like right in the beginning of just, it's just
riding
so good.
Around in a giant egg space pod thing.
Especially once you watch like once you watch like the Bardock, if you watch the Bardock movie where you get a little bit more of the backstory into what Frieza was doing with the Saiyans before kind of everything went up the crazy part.
Also, I had the chance to meet Linda Young at a DreamCon up in Texas a couple years back. She was a guest.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
that was cool.
She was real cool. It was a good meetup.
And I also had Frieza on mine, but took him out just because I thought you would have it. So that's why.
That's what I was doing.
Thank you for giving me that wiggle room.
Before I did this podcast, I did another podcast called JVJ Podcast, and we had Linda Young on it once.
Oh snap!
Oh, that's awesome.
You should find her and talk to her. She'll probably be on your podcast.
Yeah. David, we'll go right to you, man. What's your number 2?
Number 2, and this is relatively new, but I don't know if you guys are watching Attack on Titan. Anybody watching Attack on Titan here?
Not. I'm
only 4 seasons.
Yeah, I stopped after the first season.
Okay. Well, then no one's gonna know what I'm talking about. But basically, the character
we'll take your word for it.
Zeke. I'm put Zeke as my villain, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I mean, do you guys care? Anyone you guys gonna watch?
No, you are good.
You have to spoil everything. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Got you. Well, okay, yeah. New season spoilers. But essentially, in the show, he basically wants to make it so that all of the almost all the main characters can never have children again, and they slowly will die off. That's his kind of goal for them. There's more to it than that, but he basically just wants to make it so like, hey, you can the curse will stop here, and then there'll be no more kids. I mean, there's no more Titans as well, and they just slowly die off.
So he's going around punching everyone in the dick.
Essentially, yes.
There's a little bit more
yes.
subtle than that.
He's watching Anime Street Survival. There you go. He's called not to join.
I can agree with that though. I mean, Attack on Titan, you're gonna get some good people out of that.
I like the Titan from season 1. You guys remember him?
Oh yeah,
he was real tall. Was his thing.
The colossal.
I need to catch back up on that, but I'll probably need to rewatch.
Maybe one of these days I'll make it past episode 5.
Y'all need to go back and watch. Yes.
Look, I'll be real.
Catch up
I'm
eventually.
a very busy man. I got a lot of stuff to do, so it's hard for me to get into like new shows, but I'm working on it. I'm steadily getting there.
Well, put this one on your list. I'm telling you, for real.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The new season of Digimon's okay. You can check that out.
Yeah.
There we go.
I guess we'll try this. Justin, what do you got?
No plot, so that's pretty cool.
So my number 2 villain comes from a show that was originally labeled "It Gets Good" around episode 200. I went with Hunter x Hunter and Hisoka. The clown. I picked him because you could never predict what he was going to do or why he was doing it, and that's what I loved about it. He can't take down a whole planet or even a whole country, but if he had a goal of I'm going to kill this person, he did whatever it took to take that person out. Backstabbing, befriending the enemy, just straight up walking up to you in an alley, whatever it took to take you down. That's why he's my number 2.
Nothing if not thorough.
Oh
yeah.
There's a few scenes where he even waited for a guy to lose all of his power just so he could fight him, and when that happened, he realized, you're beneath me. There's just no point anymore. So for that reason, that's Hisoka for me.
What episode was that? Episode 200?
199.
That's a show. I've tried to watch Hunter x Hunter like 3 times, and I feel like I stop and get bored at the same part every time. If it's the part where they're going through, I think, all the trainings and trials, and they're like running for like 3 episodes straight. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, I was like, what's going on? Like,
I've made it there twice and stopped. I know exactly what
okay, you feel me?
I haven't like tried in a while. So I don't know. I just feel like I tried once and I couldn't really get into it.
If you have to try that hard to like an anime, maybe it's not worth watching.
Well, it's the same thing that happened in Naruto. I tried getting into Naruto, but after 40 episodes of filler out of 70, I was like, I can't. I can't. I get it. I get it. You have no friends, and everyone you know is like dad, and your parents are dad. I get it. I got it after 5 episodes. I don't need 80 episodes of you crying about this.
I mean, like, look, the minute you need a separate website to differentiate which ones are filler and
you
which
have
ones
you have too much filler,
relevant, and there's a real competition between how many, like half of it is filler.
Yeah.
Let me just go back
that,
to watching.
though, to me, though, and I'm not like a huge Naruto fan. I like it a little bit, but I feel like it was something you had to grow up with. Like, I don't know if it came out today, if it would really even work, because it's so much filler and how fast animes are now. So.
I've said this before with long animes, because I'm a huge One Piece fan, and I've said this before, where when it comes to long animes, and this started relatively when it came out, odds are you're only going to be a fan of one of the long animes, like whether it's Naruto or One Piece or Fairy Tail or whatever it is on the longer ones. Like, if you commit to one, you're probably going to be a fan of that, but you're never really going to give the other ones like much of a chance.
How hard it would be to get into One Piece now, or like Justin, think how hard it would be to start Naruto now. When you're 1,000 episodes in or 900 episodes in, that's like a freaking mountain to climb, man.
It's a lot, So before I give my number 2, we do have a question here. Someone's wondering, what anime would you recommend to somebody that's never seen one?
Boy, oh boy. I mean,
if it's a movie, it's going to be obviously
your name. Yes.
I'd say Trigun. That's always a good start.
Trigun is
okay. That's a solid one.
It's so dope, but it's also not like painfully long. So
no, it's pretty short.
I think that's a good one to start with.
Okay, I also will agree with this one. Hijabi no Ippo is one of my all-time favorites.
I'm gonna say
It's a little long.
Names
though.
in Japanese, it's hard for people to.
Yeah, I think Death Note would be mine. I would say for a brand new person.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Death Note would be good.
Okay.
And it's not long. I think it's
go.
like 60, 70 episodes. So.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah. I for me, I'm gonna go with Air Gear because it's one season.
Always go with Air Gear.
Yeah, because it's so good.
What's that about? I've seen the picture. I've never checked it out.
So
Give me the pitch.
So the pitch is these kids are in like a gang in high school, and what they really want to do is use these things called air treks, which are like essentially just like motorized rollerblades that they can like use to like go up walls and do like these insane tricks. And there's like this whole underground, essentially like fight ranking system, and they want to crack into the rankings. And so the main character, he's actually like pretty good, and so he's like they try to recruit him to be like the leader of this rebellion, but he just wants to like air trek with his friends. And then there's like this whole underground thing where they're trying to battle through the rankings, and it's really good. It's one season because the one of the main voice actors died, so they decided to kind of just shut it down. But they did release a few OVAs about 2-3 years ago to kind of like catch up into the future, just so you could kind of like recap where the people were at. But it's like insane like rollerblade tricks of just like, but like real, like more realistic. It's not just like guys doing like kamehamehas like off the wall. Like they're doing stuff where you could kind of justifiably see them doing it if you had motorized rollerblades that could justifiably go.
I don't know why you would say that. That's insane.
But it's so good.
For
Barry,
me,
what
I'd
about-
go
what
something
about you?
shorter. Yeah, something
What's shorter than
super
13?
short.
Don't
So
say it.
Golden Boy. You're
I was gonna say,
Boy, aren't
I was
you?
gonna say, if he fucking says Golden Boy, I swear to God.
If you're starting
I
them off, you
freaking
might
knew
as
he
well
was
just
going
show 'em
to.
something weird. That way,
If you
because
want someone
here's
to
the
never
thing.
watch it, Golden Boy's a finishing anime, man. That's the last one you watch.
If they like it, if they really do like it, you know they will like any anime that you ever recommend them. And it's easy to
Yeah,
watch. You
that's
watch
true,
it in
yeah.
what?
That's the point.
3 hours?
Yeah,
4
it's,
hours?
it's true. Yeah, that's true.
2 hours.
2
yeah.
hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I really liked Golden Boy. What else you got? You can give them the
What else do you
Bleach or
got?
Naruto, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ash gets me. He understands.
Ash is weird, so why we banned him from the
Josh, did you
podcast.
did you
We're all
recommend one,
weird.
Josh?
No, I mean, if I was going to recommend one, it'd be Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Most-
that'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of because it's not like an anime. You don't see any anime tropes in it or anything like that. It just is
That's
good.
true. Yeah. It's
Unless
just kind of like a
something trying
solid
to
of
copy and Cowboy Bebop to the point that it becomes a trope, but
right.
very much like its own thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely good.
Yeah. Either that or maybe like Outlaw Star could be a good one too.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Anything where they're in space, you know,
Is
and
it
the
going to?
cowboys-
Yeah, you're probably going to get some decent stuff out of it. I would say. Oh yeah, so my number 2. So I don't know. I had a lot that I wanted to go with. Like I thought of doing like Lelouch from the Rebellion because even though he's the main guy, he's got kind of like that. He does some really messed up stuff. But I ended up going with Caesar Clown from One Piece. And so the reason why I didn't go with a lot of people like go with like Doflamingo as like one of their main bad guys, but I went with Caesar because Doflamingo tells him, hey, I need you to make me these fruit things, like, so we can get extra powers. I don't care how you do it, just figure it out. And so Caesar's first instinct is to experiment on kids. So he kidnaps kids from all over the area and just does insane experiments on them. A lot of them die. Some of them are like gigantic. Some of them like it's this whole messed up thing. He develops like these poison gases so he can like. So that's why I went with him because all he's told is develop this material. I don't really care how you do it. And yeah, Doflamingo was the bad guy, but this dude's first instinct was to use and kill kids.
It's like a young Shao Tucker.
Messed up.
Yeah, so that's why I had to go with Caesar Clown from One Piece.
I'm about to say, if there is any reason why I would watch One Piece outside of me being somehow clinically insane to try and start that now, but there's one villain that my friend has shown me from One Piece that I really fuck with. His name was Enel, or Eneru for the Japanese. But he's that crazy-
the lightning god?
Yes, that dude
Yeah.
is dope.
Yeah, his power is so sick. Yeah, they go into it in the anime where like they say if he instead of being where he was on Skypiea where they thought he was just a god, he didn't know that he had lightning like devil fruit powers. That if he had gone down to like the mainland and knew what he had actually was, that he would be by far the most powerful person in One Piece.
Yeah, I mean he's lightning in the ocean.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, he's literally just living lightning.
It's like being
like me,
a lit match around a bunch of like dry grass or something. It's like the world is your oyster.
Oh yeah, there's so much you can do.
Does he have a hammer?
Wait, is he what?
Does he have a hammer?
No, he uses a trident.
You have a big, throbbing, meaty hammer.
Yeah,
that's how I like my Thor.
I just know, like what I
It's the
saw,
only
like
way
he would
Lord
have
can
his
do it.
drums, and he would just like gently tap them, and then all of a sudden just starts glowing and just electricity all over the place.
yeah.
I'm a sucker for electricity powers too. That usually
No, had you ever watch Zatch Bell?
I think briefly way back in the day, but I do remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things was like all electric in Zatch Bell. I just remember that about it. I haven't watched it in so long.
Yeah, it's been
That
ages.
was Zatch Bell, right? Zatch Bell is the lightning one.
Was that
Wasn't it?
Zatch Bell is the one where they have like the books?
Yeah, they got to send.
Yeah,
there can
it's
only be
little
one left at the
puppet
end.
kid.
They're Highlanders.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
essentially Kid Highlander,
Okay.
just a lot more violent.
But weren't
And
like
with powers.
the ones with the books? Weren't they like living dolls?
Essentially, yeah. They were like sentient dolls that like had a soul. But of course, the main one, of course, is the one that has like that his dream is just to be. I think his dream was like to be real or something. Because I think if you win,
They
you
all
get like
feel that way.
from what I remember, I think if you win, you get a wish. Like the team that wins each get a wish granted. The controller and the actual doll, and I think his doll's wish was to become real. But I can't remember. I haven't seen it in so long.
It's been like 10, 12, 15 years since
I was
I've
gonna
seen it.
say,
Yeah.
it's
it's an old one.
unless you were looking it up recently.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys tried watching? I'm going to explain the joke from earlier. Record of Ragnarok on Netflix.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I started
Explain.
that, and the animation was so terrible. From what I remember from the same show, I just remember like seeing like the animation was bad, and I was like, I don't know if I can watch this.
Just Google
It's on my
Record of Ragnarok Thor's hammer. Just
I don't know if you want to type that in, man.
if you type it in YouTube, it'll be safe because it'll just pull up a clip. But they or maybe I can try to pull it up when you guys are explaining it. I'll just show you guys. It's
So
they
graphic.
let's just say they took some
Throbbing,
liberties.
meaty hammer.
Yeah, they took some liberties with Mjolnir. Like they took some liberties with that.
His hammer is fan service. Like that's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
way to explain it. Yeah, it's
wow.
very
Yeah.
graphic, violent hammer.
It's something. It's something.
That's why it cracked Mark's top 5.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it totally did. I can't wait for season 2 so we can watch. What's the first fight of season 2 again? Jack the Ripper versus
Hercules.
Hercules,
Pretty
right?
good.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper versus Hercules, the classic fight we all wanted from
But
history.
they make you try to go for Jack the Ripper, and that's the worst part.
That really
Yeah,
does sound
yeah.
like some kind of a matchup you'd hear on a death battle or something like that.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
wait,
yeah.
why are you hearing this?
What this
But it's
whole
just a
show
weird
is.
one because it's like you want to root for the whole thing is like it's humanity versus the gods, and if the gods
don't.
win, they get to obliterate the world. So that's what Justin was saying, where you're like, you want to root for humanity, and they're like, you want to root for Jack the Ripper, and you're like, I don't, not, I get no, sure, I guess, why
Okay.
not?
Don't describe it, Mark, because it sounds good.
It's not.
And they're gonna be like, what are these guys?
I want to go check. I want to go check it out now. Oh dear God, no, don't.
Sounds. It's like Dragon Ball GT. If you describe it, it sounds good, but it's not. Actually, GT is good. I
Fair,
disagree.
fair.
But it's better not
Yeah.
under a magnifying glass.
Yeah, so we're getting close to we're at number 1. So
We're
our
at number
top.
1. Does
I'm ready
anyone,
I'm ready for this. Yeah.
Before we do that, does anyone have any honorable mentions? People who almost made their list but didn't quite.
I had
Definitely
I had Lelouch.
you go.
Lelouch of the Rebellion was an honorable mention for me because he's doing what he's doing to try to make better changes, but he goes about it in the most messed up ways possible.
I can say for me, an honorable mention that really almost made the list was Legato Blue Summers from Trigun.
Oh,
Because
yes.
the minute he showed
Okay.
up, the tone of the show switched so hard and it was so good.
Yeah.
Then after that, you get the friggin' the gung ho guns, and even Knives, as compelling as he was, still just doesn't have like that same charisma as Legato. He was really crazy.
It's a good way to describe it, is charisma. I get exactly what you're saying.
No, dude was slick. I want his outfit. It looks cool. I'd wear it every day if I could.
I can agree. I can agree with that. David, what about you, man?
Well, see, I know Joe, you already mentioned Frieza, so the other character as far as villain was probably Cell for me. That would probably be my number 2 villain as far as DBZ, just because I remember just how insane it was when he was just like consuming people and stuff and the chaos in the city and everything. So I just remember that being a super impactful villain from DBZ. So that'd be my number 2 villain in DBZ after Frieza. So.
No, 100% agree. And you gotta love his buttery smooth voice. Come on.
And that's you could also,
what other villain was so
that was
confident?
almost likable.
Because what other villain just makes a giant ring and just goes, I'm gonna stand here for 1 week and let you guys do whatever you want to power up and then come fight me, and I'm literally not gonna move.
And if not for the Cell Saga, we would not know whether Goku has his driver's license or not.
It's true.
That's
covering all the important.
10 days. It's the important details about Goku that we need to dive into. You know, it's little things like that.
So
Josh, it's on you, man.
But then that does beg the question: how did Piccolo get a driver's license? There's no way he has a social security number.
You feel like they just
when you're dealing with a world where they have a mayor that's an anthropomorphic dog. I'm sure some things have to go out the window.
And he's got to have some form of ID because he entered a martial arts tournament.
True.
Which I got to imagine was like sign your name with name. Proof of.
He called himself Ma Junior.
So he has a fake ID at least. Maybe he just has a fake social security number. I mean, enough people have died where maybe he just like
he already
picked one up one
the
time.
Driver's license by the time that tournament came along. So
that's true.
I mean, again, where even the registration in a tournament goes on the high end. Here, sign your name, go in there and fight. And on the low end, I'm just going to stand here, and anyone who's brave enough to show up, okay, you're in. And then just throw out the rules of the tournament halfway through on the first guy that you fight. So it's like, okay, whatever.
I feel like that's like Dragon Ball tournaments. Dragon Ball Z tournaments were a classier affair with kids.
They did. Like they had the preliminaries and stuff like that. They had the friggin' the punching machine to test you out. That was a good moment.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Vegeta trying to be extra and shit.
They did it right.
Yeah, Vegeta, did it right. On,
man. Josh, what about you? What would be like one of the top?
Honorable mention would probably be Naraku from Inuyasha.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I like the way he disappeared halfway through the series. And then the series ended with them not remembering they're looking for Naraku, and then they had to make another series to get him.
No, Naraku was cool.
Naraku was like.
I will say that was one of the bright spots of Inuyasha. Inuyasha to me is like another one of my hunters where I have tried on 3 separate occasions to watch Inuyasha all the way through, and I just can't do it.
Man, I do kind of almost hate to say I kind of agree with it. I watched it all the way through once as a kid, and I have not been able to make it through like the halfway mark after.
It's not good. Are you guys watching the there's like a sequel out of it, right?
Yeah, they're kids.
Yes. Is anybody watching that?
I refuse.
I haven't watched it.
No, I just found out that exists like not too long ago.
I saw they were doing that, and they were like, "We're gonna do their kids," and I was like,
I'll check it out.
Why?
I mean, it's essentially just because what Boruto is. Yeah, I was gonna say Boruto.
Right? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, now we're gonna get a bunch of anime about old characters' kids.
Look.
Oh man,
there's a world. We live in a world where there's like a new Rush Hour TV show without Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. The world doesn't make sense anymore.
No. Well, and then now Futurama is being brought back, but not with the voice actor for Bender.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. But
who would even take his place? Because like John DiMaggio has such a distinct voice. How do you recast that? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Unless it goes to Steve Bloom or Nolan North or Troy Baker like everything else does. But still,
I would imagine you just don't have Bender in.
In which
Like, you
case,
just-
how are you bringing the show back?
I understand, but you just say like, "Oh, Bender's on vacation in Mexico,"
I
and then you just move on.
yeah.
You could replace him with that other robot that likes to stab people all the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It'd be better to replace him with Flex though. But here's how I would do it: you say Bender's on vacation in Mexico, and then occasionally he comes back in a non-speaking role just to get like his luggage, and then leaves again.
Yeah, fresh.
Or you
yeah,
can
Fresh
have
Prince
or you can have him actually cameo where he's on like a Zoom call and he'll just pop in and say, "What's up, meat bags?" and then he's out. Like something like
Yeah.
Just take old clips and put them together.
that. There you
Yeah.
go. Just get the sound of him dancing. Come on, yeah, and just put that over him in the
And
background.
just use old voice clips.
I don't know. I don't know if that would work. I feel like that would be a whole Crispin Glover in Back to the Future 2 scenario.
Well, that'll be the question of, do they pay him? So I don't know what it was. He said it was a budget thing or whatever. He said it was the principle of something. It was something to do with
like that,
budget,
yeah.
and he said it was the principle of the matter.
He said the
So-
principal budget was not high enough to pay his salary. Which
Yeah.
was money.
Yeah, which I gotta figure it was probably something where they were probably trying to pay them all the same amount, and it was, my guess is probably lower than what they made the last time, and that's why he's. Otherwise, if it's not
honest,
less money than you made before, then why are you upset? If it's more money than you made last time the show was on the air, why are you upset?
But
So it's
the
got- it
value
had to be
of
less.
Futurama has probably gone down in the
Yeah, that's
7
the
years
thing.
since it's been on.
Right? Yeah,
Because
because
like, why make another one? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right, because it's not like before when it got canceled in the last 2 or 3 times, however many times it was canceled and brought back. It was usually brought back because of like fan outrage and people like signing petitions to bring back Futurama, so they would. This time there was none of that. No one was clamoring for Futurama to come back. All of a sudden they were just like, "Hey, guess what, guys? Futurama!" Everyone's like, "Oh, cool!" Like no one cared at this point. We
So
had
I'm-
moved.
yeah.
We had moved on.
I'm a huge Futurama fan, but like the
Same.
last time it ended, I was like, "That's a good ending. Let's stop there."
Yeah,
They canceled it the first time, and I was like, "Oh man!" And then they brought it back, and I was like, "That's good." And then they canceled it.
yeah.
And
Well, aren't they doing that with a lot of shows? Isn't King of the Hill coming back too?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean,
I
yeah,
just feel like now it feels like the streaming services are just trying to any property they can grab and put on their service. So that's what they're doing to me.
So
Will-
Ash says King of the Hill is coming back, but there's no confirmation. The only confirmed thing we have coming back is Frasier, which is great. Anything with Frasier, I'm all for.
Fresh Prince is back. Anybody watching that?
No.
It is.
Listen, guys, on the principle, I'm not watching it, and it's not the principle you're thinking. I'm not watching it because they didn't release it as a whole season. I'm not playing Peacock's little 1 episode a week crap. You're a streaming service. You release it as a season.
Yeah.
When the season is out, I will watch it. But until
Right.
then, they can suck
Yeah.
a fart.
That's where Netflix gets really weird with how they do it sometimes, is like stuff like The Witcher, anything that's like produced in America, they'll release full seasons. But I've noticed this weird trend with like Korean or like Japanese shows that are being released on Netflix where they do 1 episode a week, like for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I'm against that.
Yeah, I think it's because Netflix judges their shows based on how well your volume downloads do in a month period of time. And so if you binge something within the first 10 days of a show coming out, there's a drastic drop off, like the Cowboy Bebop live action. But if you're releasing it once a week and it's a steady week, Netflix is going to give you the whole season to then review your show.
Well, obviously, there's more money to be made when someone has to stick with your streaming service for 4 months to watch everything. But
Yeah.
I don't. That's not how
Yeah,
I take my media anymore. And
I'll wait until the full thing is out. Like that's why I'm not watching the second season of Demon Slayer out right now, because it's not done yet.
But that's
And-
actually hard because that's my dilemma too. Is like I rather binge, but anime, of course, new ones come out weekly. But if you don't, sometimes like the spoilers, man, like literally, anime spoilers are out the minute an episode airs. Like literally, they have memes, videos, everything. So it's so hard to say from spoilers if you're not watching weekly.
Yeah, but you could just have no friends, and then you don't have to worry about anything.
This is true.
I'll tell you guys, the worst thing that ever happened to me is when I caught up on the new season of Digimon. I have to wait a week for every episode, and nothing ever happens in it. So,
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's
19
the
episodes,
sad
0
part is
plots
when you
so
wait.
far.
Yeah, that's the sad part about waiting for like bigger shows to come back. Because sometimes One Punch Man's a pretty good example of an anime that had a great first season. They finally realized how popular it was. They're like, all right, we'll do another one. But it had been so long since season 1 came out. There was just such a drop off.
And they switched studios too.
Yeah.
So the animation was not as good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, and sometimes like that's the risk. It's like, do you still put it out or do you just cancel it just to that? Like, it depends. Like, are you just trying to money grab it or do you actually want to put out a good product? And I feel like with One Punch Man, it was legit just a money grab. Like they told the story they wanted to. They were just like, I think we can get more money out of this.
Oh yeah, I worry that the same thing is going to happen to Squid Game if that gets a season 2. Like, yeah, it left it open, but it's like, do we need another one? Just pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see.
Right.
It's too popular not to get another one though.
They're definitely making a season 2, but it just depends on what they do. Like, what if season 2 has no Squid Game in it?
Maybe, or
trash?
Or instead of doing a season 2, do a prequel where you see the guy who's in charge now win his one. Like, maybe you already kind of know the ending a little bit. You know he wins, but you get to see the whole thing with his brother, like him getting kidnapped, him winning. Like, that had to be one hell of a season.
Oh yeah,
for that guy to win the show and then get put in charge. What was your wish? Like, what did you do? What was your thing, man? Like, there's some stuff there you could do. That's what I'd like to see. Like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Spartacus, Blood and Sands. When the one actor was dealing with cancer, they didn't know if they should do the second season or recast him, so they went back and did a prequel, so you could get everyone's backstory of how they got to where they are. So if they did it in Squid Game, I feel like it'd be great. But yeah, season 2, the reason why I see it ending badly is because, the guy could be like, all right, I'm going to use this money. I'm going to get vengeance. And I feel like it could just take one phone call from that company to be like, oh, yeah, that huge cash deposit we did to that debit card, that was a fraud. You should just cancel that card.
He gave half of it away. So
and then the guy's out of money. Like, I feel like it'd be very easy for them just to be like, now you have no money.
It would be harder to mysterious text from the IRS that says "Swiggity sweetie, I'm coming for that booty."
We noticed that you withdrew like $1 billion. We're just curious about that. If you could explain that really quick.
Well, the problem with doing what you want, Mark, is I don't know the guy's name because I'm not real up on Korean cinema. But the dude who played the guy you're talking about is like a huge actor in Korea, and he did that cameo.
Is he?
And they talk.
Oh, maybe that was it.
When the two girls were talking about, like, that girl was asking if the other girl had seen a movie, they were actually talking about that guy. So I don't think he would sign on for another Squid Game. I think he'd be like, he's like the Brad Pitt of Korea. Is Brad Pitt still popular? I'm not up on movies.
Yeah, for sure.
More popular than I am. I don't know. So
yeah.
So that's our scale. There's Joe and there's Brad Pitt.
If you pass me up, then you know you've made it. I'm not that easy. I swear.
All right. So for number 1, I'll just leave it up to whoever wants to go first.
I got my honorable mention.
I don't
care.
care. I don't care, man. I really don't care.
It's super fun.
I'm kidding.
It's going to be super fun.
I
All
love
right, fine. What's your honorable mention from Golden Boy?
Hey, shh! Everyone, be quiet. This is going to be so good. Justin is so good at podcasting.
I love you too, Mark. And
what's your number 2?
My number. Well, it's on my number 2.
I was thinking if I could throw him for a loop, see if he's on his game.
Almost threw it out too. My honorable mentions were I picked Best Dressed because I feel like that is a subject that no one was going to touch on.
Everyone
just
gets one.
Just let him do what he wants. This is going to fall. He's going to fall on his face and look like an idiot. Don't want to laugh at him.
And it just makes our number ones even better. I'm kidding.
That's true. No, by default, it will.
So, Best Dressed Villains of all time. Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh,
okay. That's actually a good one.
I remember the scene.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Muzan with his fedora from Demon Slayer. The Michael Jackson looking dude.
Michael Jackson, yeah.
That's a great description.
Pegasus is a solid honorable mention in itself. Like, what other? I would imagine he's got to be in the later years, right? With the gray hair, he's got to be. I don't know if they ever.
But he looks so vital, you know.
Yeah, but what other? Let's just conservatively say 30-year-old man goes. You know what I haven't done lately is target a 10-year-old and send his grandfather to the Shadow Realm.
Look, if you want ridiculous, I'll
the
still
plot
never
to
get over
Chronicle
this
3.
one. Seto Kaiba creates a time machine to go
Yes.
back in time and play a pharaoh in a card game. I can't get over that.
Classic.
Yeah,
But Kaiba's young and full of piss and vinegar.
it's true.
We all do
Still.
stuff like that as kids.
Why would you piss away your high school years after making incredible contributions to technology and science to just go play a card game with one dude?
Yep.
He doesn't want to cure cancer. He wants to turn people into
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
to be the champion. I also love too that like when the show came out and they were obviously like, "Oh, this is hugely popular. Let's make a card game." They were like, "Let's make the card game nothing like the show rules." So
What
we can
show
confuse
rules? What the hell are you talking about?
There was no rules.
the pretend show rules of like just
Every duel had different rules in the show.
Just
I
write
also
it off
loved-
as part of
yeah.
the cards and you're good.
Yeah, just believe in the heart of cards and you're good.
They'd be like, we're dueling near the ocean, so some
That was-
cards are more powerful.
That was Yugi's biggest
Not
advice to
Dungeons and
Kaiba
Dragons.
when he's dueling Pegasus. Kaiba, you're not believing in the heart of the cards. Right, that definitely affects the next card he's
And
going to
then,
draw.
Oh shit! This was just the card that I needed to turn it around.
Yeah,
What are the- you've got that shit up your sleeve.
Hold on, but
Stop
I'm
playing.
not gonna lie. When I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid with friends, I used to in my mind be like, "Heart of the cards," hoping I get the the blue eyes or something next. I promise, I was praying Heart of the cards.
You gotta give the writers credit for getting rid of Yu-Gi is in high school. You gotta give the writers credit for getting rid of Exodia in the first season.
Oh,
That was just
Yeah,
way too,
it was so overpowered.
this is
it
way
was so
too easy to fall
overpowered.
back on.
You guys
Yeah.
want to hear a story about how I fell out of love with Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Like the card game. This is
Yeah.
mad embarrassing. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself,
No,
but
it's fine.
I used
Bring it
to
on.
play back in middle school. And I had like a pretty good deck. You know, I was a young duelist, had a dual disc and everything.
You were
But-
young, you were full of life, you had a good deck, you were just
Yeah.
out there.
But
Yeah,
at some point, all of my cards were just like gone. So I would assume that they got stolen at school or something. I had a theory as to who did it. I had no evidence, but I was sure. I believed in the heart of the cards and I knew it was them. So I formulated this whole plan, and ties in with the villains thing. But I formulated this whole plan of I'm going to say that I have a super rare Yu-Gi-Oh card called Dark Exodia, and I drew a card myself of just this Exodia ripoff. And I was going to plan to like meet them at the top of the stairs of the school. And while they were making the exchange, I just snatch all their cards and just run. I had no plan about if I was going to meet them the next day at school or whatever. But thankfully for them, they didn't even buy the premise to begin with. So it's like, you know what, fuck it. My deck's gone. My life as a duelist is over. Let me go back to playing, I don't know,
People
Digimon
were
or something.
touching your
We'll figure
deck
something
against
out.
your will.
yeah. For me, it was Magic. I tried getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, but Magic was the card game that I played more.
Wasn't there a Dark Exodia though?
There is.
Do the
Yeah.
Egyptian god cards count? I don't know.
I
Well,
think I think there is like a Dark Exodia that they released as like some weird alternate or something.
Yeah, I remember it because they, in the middle of the saga where they were fighting the dude with white hair, they went into virtual reality forever.
Yeah, there we go. Confirmation. It's a level 10
Level
card.
10.
I'll be
Whatever
damned.
whatever that is.
I'll
So
give them
you
credit.
created
They
Dark
drew it
Exodia.
better than I did. They drew it better than I did. Sorry. You know, great minds think alike, though.
Man, you and Brad Pitt are up there.
I know.
See why people
Yeah,
compare
it's
you.
neck and neck now at this point. Like
That's the highest compliment I can receive. I appreciate
that's the thing that you can break out if you ever like meet him in a room and he's like, here's my Oscars. You can be like, yeah, well, here's how to draw a Dark Exodia.
Listen, you have to make a promise to us that if you ever see Brad Pitt, without context, you're going to tell him that you created Dark Exodia.
Before you say anything, before you say anything else to him, like not nice to meet you, holy crap, it's Brad Pitt, just walk straight up to him and just go, this is Dark Exodia, and then
Oh no,
and
Dave!
just-
I'm gonna need you to back me up on this because we need to make it into a Trapped in Anime episode. I want a Dutch camera tilt, low angle, and I want you to hear me say, "Hold it!" Zoom out, reveal me standing there, and then I summon Dark Exodia, and he's just like, "Who the fuck are you guys?" And then he's like, boom, video over, million views.
Let's do
Summon
it.
him in secretly Brad Pitt all along.
Yeah, it just takes off his mask and it's just Brad Pitt. Like, the hell do you guys want?
Like if they make a live action Yugi movie, Brad Pitt should play Dark Exodia. I think we could all agree on that.
I'm about to say, with my luck, if I ran up on Brad Pitt like that, he'd just be like, "Oh, you think you've got it?" And then he summons some crazy ass, ridiculous card, and it's like, "All right."
He just pulls out his jacket and he's just got like 10 decks just like strapped to him. He's like, "Fucking bring it!"
Like, get your
just
fake ass.
pulls out some
Yu-Gi-Oh
god cards. Oh man! All right. So who wants to go first? I'll leave it up to anybody that wants to do their number one first.
I can go first. I got mine is I think the best. Number one, easy. Light Yagami from Death Note. Everybody knows how he started off.
Okay. Yeah.
Essentially, at the end of the show, essentially had martial law control of the whole world because if you committed any small crime, you're in the Death Note and stuff. So number one,
the villain.
Yeah.
Come on.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Yeah. I think he started off as had somewhat good intentions, but by the end of the show, it was like, yo, if you litter on the ground,
I like him. I've only seen the live action. With Willem Dafoe. I like that a lot.
Please don't.
I'm
please.
Just with you,
okay, good. I'm about to say
Willem Dafoe.
That one was
good.
Oh, he's the only good part of
Hollywood treasure.
He was good at that.
He's the only reason to watch. Everything else in that movie is awful.
If you tell me that J.K. Simmons makes a cameo in like the live action show, I'm there. I want that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to Light, like I like him as a villain, but I just like as soon as he starts like turning down the ability to like
J.K. Simmons
see the names and stuff and like be able to kill people easier and tries using that other girl and all that other stuff, I was just like, all right, this is getting like too like tactitional, like you're literally running from the local cops. Like
no, but then the FBI got involved and everything and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like if it wasn't so easy for everyone else to believe that he was using a magic death book, but like everyone accepted it so quickly, like there wasn't much backlash. It was just like he's got to be using this evil.
How do you know there aren't other magic books in that world? No one ever said there aren't.
I mean, this stuff's probably been around since ancient times as magic and mysticism. You know, something's probably happened.
Yeah. Cobb was a great villain in The Wind Rises.
Agreed.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I don't have the wherewithal to debate that, so
yeah, I'll go with it.
All right,
I mean, that's still a solid one, though. You gonna go next, Joe?
Dave's was trash, but I got the real one. I'm kidding.
All right, I got a follow up question for Dave though. Dave, how much would it cost you to write Joe's name down in a death note?
Oh man, whew. You know what? I know Joe would write my name down, but I would not write Joe's name in the death note.
First off, what gives you this impression?
Joe,
right?
Don't let him fool you. He's a cold dude. All right,
Dave, you don't want to have this discussion because I got Dave on you too, bro. We don't need to go there.
See that look in Joe's eyes. He's a killer.
You see it, right? You see it.
All right. Do you want me to do it? Because I can put this dude on blast tonight.
You see it's coming out. Y'all see it, right?
This is an act. This is what you need to understand. I want you to understand. I'm sorry. You should take my list as number one, David, because you're the real villain of the group. But here's the thing. I want you guys to understand the dynamic of the friends that I have. Because yes, we're hardcore Joners. We roast each other. It's just part of the game. But me, I'm like a small island nation. I'm like Vietnam, Guatemala, guerrilla warfare tactics. But I'm straight up in how I combat somebody with the rope.
Okay.
Didn't you try to trick someone into buying a magic Yu-Gi-Oh card from you or something?
But who are you more afraid of? Are you more afraid of somebody with the knife or somebody with their finger on the nuke button? Because my friends have like emotional blackmail on each other. They've got pictures, video files of leverage over each other that says, I hear this every week during team meetings of, I've got this video on Dave. I can release this right now and destroy his whole career. And then he'll immediately respond, I got something on you too, bro. So there's literally a nuclear arms race of incriminating video and photographic evidence on these dudes. I have nothing of the sort. If I got something to say to you, I'll say it straight up. Other than that, Hands is rated E for everyone, but that's all I got. So
you guys don't sound like friends at all, to be honest.
we go like that.
Well, to be fair, I was going to ask Josh the same question about Barry, and then I thought of my own answer, and I was like, No, Barry would probably be the guy that I would write down the book to see if it's real or not, and then when he drops dead, I'm like, oh, all right, okay, so it's real. All right, that's good to know.
Yeah,
We
but
have
I've got
the
a villain
passwords to the
even worse
email. What's
than
the
Dave.
matter?
Yeah,
As long as the show keeps going on, it's successful. That's what I'm all about.
There you go.
yeah. We'll give you a weird death though. Like I'll like write it like really complicated. I'll like write some crazy paragraph that you get killed by like a clown in an ice cream truck.
It'll be like a segment out of what's it called, The Final Destination, of just like a mouse trap's worth of death. Complicated.
Just
But
like
it all starts from the
insanely, just insanely overcomplicated, and it all starts with like, remember when you spooked that cricket and it broke that one braid of glass? It all came from here a week later.
Have him poop himself to death. I think that's a fitting end.
What's that called? Dysentery, right? Oregon
Dysentery.
Trail style.
Dysentery.
That's a terrible way to go.
Yeah, it is.
It was dehydration,
Oh
basically.
yeah. So Joe, what's your number one?
All right, number one villain worse than Dave comes from Hamtaro. I'm kidding. Yu Yu Hakusho, Shinobu Sensui.
I thought you were gonna say the same thing as me.
Oh my
My-
god!
my-
There was
my-
no more villain for you.
Mine is also from Yu Yu Hakusho, but it's not that.
is
So
it
okay.
Toguro?
So all right. So
I
there you
knew
go.
it was
So
going to happen.
go, Joe. Go, Joe.
Yeah, about to say, were you going to pick Toguro?
Shut up, Joe.
Okay, because Toguro was dope, but to me, Sensui, like I said, I love those villains that immediately shift the tone where it's like, oh, you thought you knew bad? Well, let me introduce you to the baddest of all time.
Yeah.
Sensui, slick. He's got a dope backstory. He's trauma mixed with insanity, mixed with martial arts, mixed with spirit energy, mixed with God spirit energy, mixed with more insanity, mixed with apparently a cancer diagnosis that came out of nowhere. So great.
That's my only drawback for Sensei,
Yeah.
I think, is the cancer diagnosis out of nowhere.
I know, but that's where it kind of hit a low point. But he sums up that second to last arc of Yu-Gi-Oh so well, because it was like out of nowhere, like every single episode was like a new twist to make the circumstances even worse. It was like 2020, but condensed in a TV show and made safe for viewing. So it was like, okay, you've got to go plug up this demon portal. Also, there's a former spirit detective who's basically Yusuke, but way stronger than Yusuke. Also, the demon portal that we said was about to open in a week. Yeah, you guys have got 2 days. Scratch that, 30 minutes. Go deal with this. Like, it keeps getting worse and worse, and this dude keeps getting stronger and stronger, and it was just so cold. I don't know what else
like
to say.
when he was fighting Yusuke, and I will never forget when he told Yusuke that his spirit energy
It's like
was
the
the fishbowl and his was the ocean.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that was,
that's a line right there. That's a
and
line.
He was right.
And
Yeah.
yet somehow Yusuke basically caught him to him anyway. So, points to Yusuke, but still. He earned it.
Demons,
When he said
man.
it, I
Demons,
bought it.
man. I think
That's
that was the
my
one thing that was the one thing I loved about their fight too, is that even when Yusuke wins, it's not really him. His like demon dad just takes over his body and
Right.
lets him use his power or whatever. Like,
And you got to love how, good old Yusuke, bless his heart, just like, hold on, whoa. Get back up. We can have a run back, man. We best 2 out of 3. Let's do this again.
yeah. All right, one more time. I gotta punch you in the face myself.
He's like Goku is a street tough.
Basically.
Man, look, but what you're saying though about the whole thing shifting, that was so good when they brought the psychics in.
It really was.
It just made them realize that no matter how strong you are, there are other things that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Even
the
like the
strongest man in the
soundtrack.
world.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
even the soundtrack to it, like added like new sounds to the mix, because usually like Yu Yu Hakusho reuses a lot of the same stuff over and over. But then even that really hit the tone hard, as far as like this ain't your granddaddy's Yu Yu Hakusho. Now we're going in a completely different direction. I dig it. And even just like the moral conflicts leading up to it, where they had to fight against like just regular humans who were just like bad, like that fucking Dr. Kamiya from that one episode. That was crazy.
That kind of bugged me though, when Yusuke was giving Sensei so much shit for not, needing everything in black and white. He would only go after demons. But then Yusuke's like, I can't kill a human. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Like, really? You've done so many other things, but this is where the line's being
This
drawn.
is where your line is. And then you're going to give Sensei so much shit about it. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he used to beat the Kuwabara halfway to death just for funsies, and but
Yeah.
it's just
That
taking
was
one little step
that
off
was
the
no
edge.
problem. Yeah, you fantasized about killing that teacher, but hey, Doing other things, that's where you're crossing the line, man. You fought a dude to death. You fought a dude to death in a knife battle in the dark tournament. But yeah, let's draw the line.
My favorite.
Admittedly, that teacher wasn't asked though. He had a comment.
No, yeah, that would have been justified, and like just quickly spirit gun him into oblivion, and no one will care.
Even the principal will walk past like,
all right, whatever, man. Like, you just shot a giant blue orb into the sky, so I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore this.
I would ignore it too. To be honest.
Yeah, I know, right? If you walked on the street and saw someone like Kamehameha some dude into the sky, like you're not gonna be like, hey, I got follow-up questions. Like, no, you're walking the hell away.
Fucking gone.
all right, well, that's my number one. So
That's a good one. That's a good one. Since I feel like there's gonna be a tie here, that'll end it.
There won't be, but yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Okay.
Oh, you want me?
We're going different ways, Mark.
Are we?
All right. So for my number one, I went best entrance of any villain that has ever villained before. I went with Madara Uchiha. Best entrance by far. Showed up on the whole ninja world. Dropped the sun on him twice. Hiroshima style.
So I know to properly mute you. What anime is that guy from?
Madara Uchiha is from Naruto.
Okay.
The Uchiha name should be known.
And he's Sasuke's brother. I assume.
oh, come on.
I muted
him.
I did for 1 second.
So, not only did he drop the sun on twice, he pulled up on the five strongest people. You know, the president of each nation, the Kages, and then asked them how they wanted their ass beat. He said, "You want Susanoo or no Susanoo?" And then as he was getting his ass kicked by Guy, he granted him Mike Guy. As he was getting his ass kicked by Mike Guy.
Yeah, Mike Guy would be the one to kick his ass.
He did. He almost did. He was kicking the shit out of him the whole, 2-3 episodes? And then he tells Guy, "You are now the strongest taijutsu user. I recognize you. I see you. But you're still going to die anyways." So for that entrance, that confidence, that's why Madara is my number one.
All right, not a bad pick.
And is that Sasuke's brother, or is it Sasuke's
great grandfather?
I was going to say ancestor that was dead and came back to life.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be one of those two.
It's like zombie Uchiha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you die, you gain all those powers from being dead, and then you come back and you throw the sun at people.
Well, technically it was a meteor, but I like sun. Drop the sun is probably my favorite phrase to use when I talk about destruction. I don't know why. It's really bad. I'd probably go to hell for it, but I like it. It's fun.
So that's what your mom did a lot.
Maybe. But yeah, I love Madara. Just his whole attitude, that entrance, he got his own theme song just to kick the shit out of people. It was good. I liked it. It was him or Pain, and Madara I felt like deserved it more.
I'm surprised no one did Pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That song it was so, what's it called? Giri or something like that? That Pain entrance song?
Oh, Giri. Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Here Comes the Boom, but it was remade in Japan, so it's a little different.
That's true. All right, Josh. Since it's gonna be different, what do you got?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I mean, I pick Yomi.
Oh yeah.
I think Yomi was the best villain in Yu Yu Hakusho, mostly because Yomi was the only villain he ever fought that didn't want to be killed by him.
Basically.
Like that is a drawback to every villain, in my opinion, where after they die, they're like, "Oh, he wanted to die by your hands." Yomi did not. Yomi wanted to be the absolute strongest. The ending to the Demon World Tournament in Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my absolute favorite things that happened in all of anime. To spoil it, the two strongest fighters in the world are Yomi and Yusuke. And they don't meet in the finals. They meet in the semifinals. And Yomi barely beats Yusuke and then gets beat by someone nowhere near his power level because Yusuke took so much out of him. It's just such a great ending to me.
It was.
Yomi had so much going for him. Just the fact that, he had this kingdom and he had he wanted revenge. He had ideas for it. And then fucking he gets back with Kurama and he's like, you know what? It's not worth revenge. Let's just move on. I've actually gotten better with you cost me my sight and all it did was make me better. So thank you. Oh, man, Yomi's so good, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Yomi was dope.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I did love that ending though. For real, when Yusuke took so much of the fight out of him that other guy just wins because even though he's still relatively strong, he was nowhere near their level. But that Yomi was just so wiped out from Yusuke.
It bugs me that you don't see that more in anime.
It was a real Rocky 1 ending too, like of just like, and I really enjoyed that last season because it was people just enjoying like the spirit of fighting and martial arts.
Yeah. It wasn't so much about like let's take over the world or destroy anything. It was like let's just have a good old fashioned brawl.
Man, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about you. They did a good job of that because that should have been such a serious thing. This could have been.
It really, it's a fight for control of the demon world. Like that's a serious, that's like top tier. They could, rip reality apart.
And they make it just so fun, and they just make it like in the background that all this could happen.
Yeah.
And then like the nicest dude ends up winning and he's like, all right, let's turn this shit into a democracy. Let's have elections every 4 years. Let's make the people in charge. Like, can we have this guy as a president? Shit, why not?
Yeah, and they're all everyone's just like, all right, yeah. He won, so we got to follow the rule. Like it's
exactly.
Everyone just accepts it. It's like, all right, sweet.
Yeah, and they just got lucky that he's like, let's not
an actual good, a good demon. Like, so no surprise, my number one is also from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dave, for the love of God, watch that show. I swear to God,
it's so good.
It's high on my list. It's very high.
Yeah, so mine has to be Toguro. Again, both of yours are phenomenal choices.
I'm going to throw in the shades in honor of Toguro. There you go.
Ooh, there you go. But I just love Toguro as a villain because his backstory, once they go into it, it's so rich of just like, I don't care about conquering anything. I don't want to rule anything. I just want this kid to beat me in a fight. And I don't care. Like I just want, it's this weird, like, I want to die, but it has to be by like Genkai's replacement. It has to be this kid. I need to complete my story. And if it never gets completed, I'm just going to keep killing and murdering people until this cycle repeats itself. So it has to be this kid. And like, look, kid, I'm going to kill your friends. I'm going to kill your parents. I don't care who I have to kill in your life. I'm going to get you to kill me. Like, to me, that was like growing up watching Yu Hakusho the first time and to have a villain be like, no, I want you to kill me. That's the goal here. You need to kill me, but I'm going to kill everyone in your life until you get strong enough to kill me.
He's like the Akuma of anime. I love it.
Yeah. I can't think of another anime where a character has been changed so much by one episode.
Yeah.
Like the episode after he kills Genkai, you don't even know he has anything to do with Genkai up until that point. And then they reveal the backstory, and fucking Yusuke is like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's just, at the time, it's just, because back when Yu Yu Hakusho came out, this was really your villains at the time were like Frieza, and there really wasn't a whole lot out there in terms of like anime villains that were like top tier. And then Toguro comes out and he's just like, I want to die so bad, but it has to be in the exact way that I say it is.
You've got to respect like Japanese storytelling for making even some of the most vile piece of shit villain characters into like something compelling, where even when it gets to the point that you don't have to agree, you can at the very least understand. Like that's for me, like one of my favorite video game series is the Yakuza series, and the character writing is so friggin' strong. Again, Dave, pick that up too. It'll change your life. But like there'll be points where you are just like, oh, I am so ready to kick this dude's ass. But then literally the next cutscene is like, well, damn, now I feel bad. What's wrong with me? Why am I so judgmental? Like, it's so great.
Don't we have a video idea for that too, Joe? I think we talked about the other about like anime villains or something. We got to do that.
No, that's on the list.
That's exactly what they did with Toguro. Like, you're just like, up until that one episode, you're like, what a stupid piece of shit, just killing everything, doesn't care about anything but being strong. And then you fucking see his backstory with Genkai, and it's like, oh, okay, so this dude made a fucking mistake, wished to be a demon, and now he's stuck there.
Yeah.
He's just stuck in this endless life, and he can't get out of it, man.
Yeah, and his defeat was so well done.
Oh,
and like that last little clash and just like the muted nature of it.
Yeah.
And then when he finally falls, and it was so good.
Yeah, I just love how they did it in like the way where like they make you think that he's dead like for like half a second.
Yeah.
So Yusuke gets this like false sense of security, and then he comes back in just the most badass way, just like chilling on his motorcycle, just on the side of the road, like, oh, hey, what up? Like, yeah, no, I'm not dead. Like, it's time to do this thing. Like, it's so good. Yu Yu Hakusho is just so good. They do everything so good.
I wonder if there's ever going to be an episode where we don't just sit around going, oh, man, Yu Yu Hakusho is so good. Eventually, we're going to review it, and it's just going to be fucking us.
You basically sound like my roommate. Just swap Yu Yu Hakusho with Gurren Lagann, and then we got it. So,
that's so good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really is.
Gurren Lagann's so good.
You've seen that, right, Joe?
It's on the list. I'm trash. I got to get to it. I'm working on it. I'm working towards
27 episodes, man. Don't
that
tell me
one's
long.
super short.
I mean, it's sad that really the only barrier for me actually starting it is just plugging back in my PS4 so I can use my friend's Netflix account. That's really the only thing stopping me right
And
now.
watch Kill or Kill After.
I got to get to that too. I know there's a lot on the man. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a lot to get to, but I'm working on it. I'm trying really hard.
There's
Like for me, yeah.
For Yu Yu Hakusho, man, I don't like the girl's design. He just come on. He's supposed to look badass. He looks like what really nerdy people think badasses look like. With just a sports jacket on a motorcycle. Come on, man.
And muscles.
Put a shirt on.
And muscles and sunglasses.
Never put the shirt on.
Put a shirt on.
Never
but he
put the
wears a
shirt on.
helmet.
Never put the shirt on.
Come on.
Look, if I
Yeah,
could
it's
get as
safety over
ridiculously
fashion.
buff as he would, I wouldn't wear a shirt either.
Yeah.
It's like being Dr. Manhattan. You're basically a god. What do you need clothes for?
Yeah, like what's the point? Yeah. But why wouldn't you wear a helmet? Let's not be
It'll
stupid.
offend some
Like-
people.
Like,
Like me. Unless they're Romulus, then I'll look.
well, yeah, but that's true. All right. So I think it says something about Yu Yu Hakusho if 3 out of 5 people's number one villain is from Yu Yu Hakusho.
I like that none of them have the same villain.
No, yeah. I'm actually. I thought like as soon as Joe said Yu Yu Hakusho and Josh, you said something. I was like, oh man, we're gonna have the same guy. But no, I'm impressed. Same anime, 3 different villains.
Yeah, I am glad that you gave Yomi some representation because Yomi is admittedly really dope. So
He really is. But
That fight between him and Yusuke just.
Oh, yeah.
the only
so good.
thing that almost stopped me was like, can I call him a villain? You know, because they
Right.
start to represent him as a villain, and then they're like, well, no, he's this guy. But yeah, I still tag him as the last
I
villain.
mean, dude still had
Yeah.
some kind of crazy imperialist ambitions. So yeah, it counts.
But he
He was
dropped
trying
him.
to like take over the demon world and then expand into the human world, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, but I like
I like Yomi, but I'm glad he didn't win. Is all I'll say.
like
Oh yeah.
yeah, but like I don't know, man. Maybe shit would have changed because like he has his son, and that fucking changes him.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think that shit was real, but
a
it
hip
is.
hop artist from the '80s, basically.
Yeah.
It's like if Snoop Dogg was a demon and a villain,
Yeah. So I think that's another thing too is like there's so many depths to anime villains. Like it doesn't have to be just this. He either is trying to take over the world, or he's really into like just killing people, or he's a mass murderer, or whatever it might be. Like there's
shitty father.
yeah, exactly. Like you could make an argue for Goku being a villain. For like it's there's so many layers. To
a lot
stuff.
of shit does end up being his fault, basically.
It really is though. Like what was I didn't watch much of Super, but wasn't there like a thing where the god or whatever like hands Goku a button and he's like, hey, if you ever need me, just press this button and I'll come right to you, and then Goku immediately just presses the button as it's in the dude's hand.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, Goku literally decides to stay dead after the Cell Saga to repent for bringing
Right.
everything on him.
But
then he
came
comes back
anyway,
and everything
so,
happens again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like for Goku, he's always letting other people charge up, take the sensu bean, let me fight you at your strongest, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, people die. So there's an
Yeah.
argument for sure
Yeah,
that he
that's what I'm
is.
saying. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of depths to anime villains. Like, we all went with relative, for the
Yeah.
most part, villains, but there's a lot of times that you could go with a certain hero or, the protagonist and be like, no, like, secretly, you really dive into it. Like, if it wasn't for them, most things would be relatively calm.
I mean, even going back to Super, where it's like, the crazy jelly bean god things were like, hey, let's have this tournament, but if you lose, your universe is destroyed. And
Yeah.
what's Goku's reaction? This is exciting. Like,
Come on now.
Goku won on our team is all I'm saying.
Goku saved at least one universe, because if he hadn't been friends with Zeno would have just destroyed those 7 lower universes. That's the whole reason he had the tournament.
But
Yeah,
look,
that's
I'll
true.
take someone just a little bit more sensible as our representation for
That's
our universe.
probably a good call.
Just it should have been Piccolo. Is all I'm saying.
Wow, 100%. I agree.
17. 17 seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I think that's a pretty solid list.
Yeah.
Of top 3 villains. We got some good variety, some good reasons for why people are doing the crazy things that they do. We'll probably have to do a future one where we just do top 3 heroes.
That would be fun.
Bring you guys back. We'll just do another one,
Sure,
and we'll see if we can all pick the same anime again.
Yeah. Let's
for our
just
number
record
one.
that now. So my number 3.
Yeah, so let's go. Everyone think you got 30 seconds, and we'll jump right back into it.
I'll give you the top 3: Hiei, Kurama, Yusuke, honorable mention, Kuwabara. Like, there you go. That's the
Boom! All right, we did it. We did it.
To be honest.
Yeah. And if we just switch up our order, see, that's perfect, because then there's 3 of them and there's 3 of us. So if we all just swap our orders, then none of us are copying off each other, and we'll be good to go.
Makes perfect sense.
Exactly. So Joe and David, you guys, really quickly, just so we don't accidentally forget, plug what you guys do, like where everything can find it, kind of the recap of everything that you guys got.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, we're Trapped in Anime. It's myself and Joe. We have a team of people we work with as well. Shout out to Asia, Mike, Mattia, Tori, Rocky. They all help with produce the videos as well. But Trapped in Anime basically is online web series on almost every platform: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And we'll take a super regular real life scenario, like, I don't know, making a sandwich, charging your phone, simple stuff, and then change it into like an epic kind of anime short video. And then we'll do other anime skits and things like that. And one of our most recent videos, I think Justin originally saw, was I think the anime street survival videos, which we kind of like making fun of some of the martial arts instructors and things like that on TikTok and put an anime spin on it. So, Joe, miss anything?
No, you pretty much covered it. We love what we do. We have a lot of fun doing it. People seem to be having fun watching it. So we'll keep at what we're doing, and hopefully you'll be along for the ride, and hopefully we keep doing a good job entertaining you guys. So thank you for watching us, and thank you for having us on. It's been real good fun.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, anytime.
Yeah, you guys
appreciate you guys coming on.
We've definitely had worse guests.
I fell in love with those street survival videos. I've tried a few classes, and I'm still trying to find that autobiography, if that's a thing.
They sell out so quick. I'm sorry.
All right.
It's
I might
the
try
trick,
Amazon.
It's like trying to get a new pair of Jordans day of. You just got to find your spot in the waiting list, and
That's
they'll
true.
find their way to you. Don't worry.
I got a 10. I'll just camp out. Yeah, I got you. I appreciate you guys coming on. Something we do that's different than most anime review podcasts is we have this giant, semi-par wheel. That
the wheel is pretty okay.
No, no. Let me clarify. It's the greatest fucking thing that we have done on this show.
I like it. It's okay.
No.
Man.
It is the greatest fucking thing we have done on this show. But why are you bringing up the wheel? Am I bringing it up?
Yeah,
I was
so
gonna
they
have
can
them-
make suggestions.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, but before we do that, I did bring this up as promised. I found the video of Mjolnir Awakening and Record of Ragnarok for you guys.
Yeah, let's check this out.
So
I like how
let
you saved
me.
it.
All right, let me make myself comfortable.
Yeah. Ready? I found the short one.
Very uncomfortable.
It's a minute and 52 seconds. Okay, so it's not crazy long, but we're gonna watch this together. So the whole setup is that he's fighting Lu Bu from the 3 Dynasty, and Lu Bu has cracked the hammer with his like most powerful attack.
Oh snap!
Yeah, that's one like the swing that could cut the skies or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the Sky Cutter or something like that.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
who drew this crap? It's the throbbing of Millionaire.
I do like how it's like our first anime we've ever reviewed.
It gets so much worse. It's almost there. There it is.
Oh boy,
It's so just
There you go.
it's like a brain hammer.
Oh, just
like a
Throbbing meat hammer.
yeah, just wait till he swings it. And just wait till he like puts it on. I don't know if the clip will show. I don't know if the clip's gonna show it, but in the anime he like swings it over his shoulder.
Doesn't they say it's like a whole other living, breathing thing?
Yeah, it's a sentient thing.
Yeah.
That's why he wears the glove because he can't use his hand. Wait. Oh my god.
It's
getting real.
I like that part.
It's getting real, you know. Don't worry, guys. You're gonna get the. Oh, okay. I mean, is it gonna show it? The perfect. Oh, it's steaming too. You know that way. It's just
such a big hammer. He's got really soft hands. I just noticed that.
Okay, draw another Yu Yu Hakusho comparison. Reminds me a lot of that Hiei versus Bui fight. So represent.
So that there's the hammer.
The EA versus Bui was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they cut it off.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the hammer. I'll bring up on the wheel right now.
Yeah, that's all you get for free.
Yeah,
give us money and watch our show.
That's just a clip of the hammer pulsating and all of its.
That did suck so much.
And all of its pulsating glory.
Because I don't know if Justin explained the wheel to you, the mediocre wheel, but we have this wheel where we list a bunch of animes, and then every once in a while we get around to reviewing something, and then after we review it, we spin the wheel. So if you guys could give us a few suggestions, we'll add those to the wheel. What are we at here? 78?
77. 77.
So if there's any animes you think are good, besides Yu Yu Hakusho.
And then, so someone asked what the next one was. So next week is the quiz show.
Next week is the quiz show.
That I'm hosting.
After that, we have
Demon Slayer Season 1 plus Mugen Train.
So basically just need to add another anime to the list on the wheel?
Yes, and there is a high percentage chance it's already on there, and I won't know until after.
I have a recommendation, but it only has one good season though.
Is it season 1?
Which one do you think?
Yeah, season 1. It's Promised Neverland season 1. Season 2 I can't really recommend.
Okay, I've seen that. But I know it's not on here. That one I know is not on here.
Mark's been waiting for that one.
He has.
I have watched season 1. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Okay. Now, we'll see if this one's on there, but if not, I've got one that's super obscure that I know that you probably won't have on there. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. You got that one?
We don't.
It is not on there, but how is that random?
I mean,
it's not on there yet.
I don't know. I mean, it's on this borderline of like mainstream. Like people know Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I watched that amazing movie with.
Oh yeah.
Like that. That's what made me want to watch the anime. Was that Scarlett Johansson movie? I mean,
yeah, me too.
Was that good?
So what is the obscure one?
No, it was not. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It had Scarlett Johansson in a skin tight suit. That alone is worth the price.
That part was great. If I could only have watched just that part, like for an hour and a half on loop, and not the actual movie that went along with it. That was.
Or you could watch Under the Skin and get even more than that, and also a way better movie. So there you go.
Fair point. Since there's 2 of you, you're each allowed to recommend 2. Usually, each guest can recommend 2, so you each can recommend 1 more if you want.
Dave, you want to go first?
I mentioned this earlier, but I'm sure it might be on here. I mean, Kill la Kill's on here, right?
It's not.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Actually, no. Let me do. What about anime movies? Does that count?
No.
You can do that.
Go on a
Okay.
different wheel.
You can recommend one, and we will add it to the next movie. That because we do movie reviews. So if you want to just give us the movie, we can make that the next one.
Yeah, it was Promare, which is by the same people who made Kill la Kill. But you can put Kill la Kill on there if it's not.
Okay, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Let's hear this obscure one.
Obscure.
I mean, it's fucked up, but it's not really that good. But it's at least looks really cool, and I wish more shows were made like it. But Genocyber.
Okay, I know that's not on there. Is that how you spell it? Just
Genocyber.
I guess all one word, but close enough.
What's it about, Joe? I haven't seen.
It's some fucked up show where it's like you have this like kind of slow wolf girl who doesn't really act like people, but whenever she sees people getting killed senselessly, she turns into a cybernetic organic robot thing and then kills the killers. That's about all you need to know. But it looks really good.
Okay.
Like I'm outside of like what's it called? Like some of the more mainstream shows or whatever. I definitely like a lot of like 80s and 90s like really stylized anime.
Have you seen Bubblegum Crisis?
I have not, but I've heard of that. That's on the list. I got to get to that.
Take it off.
Take it off and run.
Take it off and run.
Hang on.
But welcome to Jumper Eye Park.
Oh yeah.
That was
It was a twist. I didn't see that.
That was God.
Well, the twist was it turned out not to be anime.
Right. Well, the twist was that they considered it. So this is a weird one. So we'll try to do like a pure random one that like not like it just we'll literally just go like, hey, pick one on any website at random and we'll throw it on there. And it landed on one called Welcome to Job Right Park. So we don't research it. We just have to watch it. So we just started watching it and then realized after we had watched it that what they had done is there was a cell phone game with all these clips in it, and they took all the clips out and turned it into what they considered an anime. And so it's on Crunchyroll. So you can go to Crunchyroll and watch this. But came from...
Don't say we sent you.
Yeah, but don't watch it and then tell Crunchyroll that we told you to go there. we will deny it up and down that we sent you there to watch Welcome to Jabberai Park. We literally, because we had watched that, it wasn't too long after Bubblegum Crisis where there was like a brief pause of like, do we just give up on watching anime now?
We almost all quit.
Are we just done watching it forever? It's just so bad. And I always like asking this because I like torturing Josh and Justin. Do either of you have a really bad anime that you watched?
That's why it's like a guilty pleasure kind of.
No, something that drew on you no pleasure.
Something that you got zero pleasure out of yet.
I probably don't because I'm like super strict. Like I'm like, yo, after 2 episodes, if I'm not pulled in, I'm like usually cut it off. So I don't even give a bad anime a chance. So I don't know if I have one because I just like I said, cut it off so quick.
Yeah, for me, I'm almost in the same boat too, where I know like there was a lot of those shows. Like, of course, I grew up with like the Tsunamis and the G4s and stuff like that. But there was like definitely that point where I fell off, where I saw a lot of bullshit, and I'm like, wait, Prince of Tennis, Boba, yeah,
Boba.
Boba on the wheel.
So yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there. But as far as one that I actually watched, I'd probably say Genocyber because, like I said, the show is pretty fucked up and crazy, but
yeah,
it looks really dope, and the music's kind of kick ass. So probably that one.
Okay, I like it. Wait, here we go. Tell you not to watch Handshakers.
Oh, I tried to watch Handshakers, and I agree. The animation, the concept was cool, and the animation was interesting, but it was. I after 3 episodes. Yeah, after 3 episodes, I was done.
Okay,
that's great.
I don't blame you on that. Josh, do you want to wrap up, or do you want to just start spurging on more anime?
No, I think we could probably wrap up. I got to be at work early. So, guys, thank you for coming on. We will definitely be in touch for future times when you'll be on this show, and you can't say no.
We've already signed our lives.
Yeah, you
away.
signed. Yeah, they already signed on to do the top 3 heroes. So it's,
And
nothing we can
I
do about
appreciate you working with us on the date changing constantly. Thanks to Justin.
It's all good.
Hey, it's all,
What I'm here for, man. What I do.
It was a good chat. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a real good one. All right,
All
Josh,
right, all right, kiddos. Thanks for finding the tape. Now make sure you rewind it back to where it started, so your parents don't know you took it. You can find us as always on YouTube, on Facebook, and we'll see you next week on Dad's Anime Stash.
Take care, people.